Hi everyone, in this video we would be learning how you can create inner classes and how they work. So sometimes it would make more sense to organize your code into multiple layers of classes. For example, each employee would have certain tasks and designation. And it would not make a lot of sense where you're having personal information here and you mix it with that. So we can create an inner class. So what we would do is we would create one right now. So I'll go to the bottom and I'll create a class, and this would say job. J needs to be capital according to the convention. And first of all, I'll create a constructor method for it, and it would take self as an argument. It would take designation. We would have the department, and we would have the responsibility. And we'll set self dot designation is equal to designation, and self dot responsibility is equal to responsibility. Self dot department is equal to department. So this is about the constructor. Now let's create one to show the info. Now we have two functions show info. We have one here and we have one here, but these would not clash because they belong to different classes. So this would take self as an argument, and we'll just print out self dot designation, self dot department, and we would print out self dot responsibility. Now we do have a class job created. Now let's learn how you can add info to that. So first of all, you would have to mention it here. Self dot job is equal to, so here you would have to say self dot job is equal to self dot job, and then you write this in round brackets. So you're basically saying that you have to create a object with job. So here we will have to again accept the arguments which are required for job, and we'll pass them over to this constructor over here. So this just allows for better organization of code. So here we will have to pass the designation and other stuff which was needed. So we'll have to accept that here. So I'll just take desig, department, and responsibility. Then I'll accept designation, department, and responsibility, and I'll pass them over here. So desig, department, and responsibility. So now whenever I create an object, it would create another object, nested object for job, which would have all of that info. And we have these functions here for the job class. Now when you're creating this employee, you would have to pass that info also. Now let's give him manager, and the department could be IT, and his responsibility is like servers. And now when I create that object, okay, so I'll have to just get rid of all of this stuff, and let's just get the info for his job. So we can say obj dot job dot show info, and when I do that, okay, so the problem is that I need to have lowercase job, and now this is happening correctly. So object dot job dot show info gives me this. So now what we've done is that we have created an object separately in another class This just allows for better management because you want all the information which deals with personal stuff to belong directly to the employee class, and the nested job class handles all of that. Now, just for practice, let's create another class within it, and that would be the one which deals with their computer hardware. So we can say class computer is equal, class computer colon, and we'll just create a constructor method in it and self. And let's say we have 3 specs right now: CPU, GPU, RAM. These are just the 3 parameters that we pass for their computers. And we can say self dot CPU is equal to CPU, self dot RAM is equal to RAM, and self dot GPU is equal to GPU. And here also we'll create a function show info, and what we would do is we would accept self here, and we will just print the info out. So we can say self dot CPU comma self dot GPU comma self dot RAM. And now we'll have to call the computer object here also. So we'll say self dot computer is equal to self dot computer, and here we would have to again pass all of that bunch of information. So we'll have to accept CPU, GPU, and RAM here also, and we'll pass it over CPU, GPU, and RAM. Now let's scroll to the bottom, and we'll say this guy has an i7 and his GPU is, let's say, a GTX 1060, and he has 32 GB RAM. And now I can also say obj dot computer dot show info, and here I'll also just say obj dot show info. So we can see all of these functions belong to different classes and they are working perfectly. So we have John, whose age is 39. He's paid $20,000. He is male. This is his email. He is a manager who works at IT department specifically for servers. He has a PC which has an i7, GTX 1060, and 32 GB RAM. So this is how objects work, and it is ways more efficient to use object-oriented programming when you're dealing with larger projects, because here you can create a pattern for an object to be created in, and you only need to create those objects. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would see you in the next one. Goodbye.